It is June. You meant to start your garden in March. Life got in the way. And now you are standing here wondering whether it is already too late. Most gardeners in June feel like they missed their window, like the season started without them, like everyone else got their seeds in, and they did not. Here is what Stacey Murphy told a student who asked exactly that question, and what she showed them completely changed how they saw the entire gardening year. Stacey Murphy has been teaching gardeners to grow food in small spaces for over 20 years. What she shares in the next 8 minutes will show you that you are not too late, and that there are actually 3 distinct planting windows available to you right now that most gardeners never know about. Pay close attention. The second window she reveals will surprise you. The third one will change how you think about the gardening year entirely.
This Q&A was recorded at a past Grow Your Own Vegetables event, where Stacey Murphy answers the question every gardener asks in June. For more information, free resources, and gentle guidance, you can find us at growyourownvegetables.org. And to grow alongside other gardeners just like you, join our free community at gyov.org.
Biggest hurdle has been getting materials, finding time to actually get started. You're not alone. You're not alone. I'm sure there's tons of people haven't gotten started yet. It's quite all right. It's very important to grow my own food. Is there a time when it's too late to plant anything? It is not too late. So it is still May 15th. I just want to show you guys this picture. So this was in Brooklyn. This was Foxtrot, my first backyard farm. And this was June 15th on the left, 2009. And the entire backyard was filled with weeds. Completely filled with weeds. I don't know if you can see all those really tall thistly plants. It was so fun getting those out. And then just 2 months later, take a look at this, August 15th, 60 days later.
Let that land. A weed-filled backyard to a full harvest in 60 days, starting in June.
Days later, I had eggplant, I had peppers, I had tomatoes, I had cabbage, I had onions, I had all my herbs, I had my greens, I had my chard, So it's not too late for sure to get started. But with that said, I did want to talk about temperatures a little bit. And there's a couple of people asking about temperatures. So remember, there's a slide, this might be in choosing crops, in the video about choosing crops, where I talk about growing vegetables by temperature. And so when you're at the extremes, colder and hotter temperatures, certain vegetables are going to thrive. And in the middle zone, when the daytime temperatures are 55 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, all crops are going to grow, and warmer temperatures are going to speed up that growth. And so it may be, so let me take a look at Durham's weather. So basically the website I like to go to is the climate data page, and I like to look at these graphs which show me the average temperatures of the month, and it also gives me the rainfall. It tells me a lot about your local condition without me having to be there, but it's also average data, and I know that any specific year could be 10 degrees different. The water could be, you could go through a drought. But in what I find in general in North Carolina is oftentimes I see about an inch of rain per week, which is great because that's about how much water you need for a lot of vegetables. Although sometimes it doesn't all come in the amounts that we want. It sometimes comes all at once per month you get a big storm. That's when it gets frustrating. But anyway, so let's talk about temperatures for a minute. So in your area, when I look at this chart, what I see is that you could be growing some cold weather crops, those crops that are in the range of the 33 to 55 Fahrenheit. You could be growing them anywhere between sometime near the end of March probably, and sometime near the end of October, beginning of November, in an average year. And then the hot temperatures, So what we're trying to make sure is that the temperatures don't exceed 85 degrees, because that's when some of those colder weather crops, they start to get fussy. So our radishes might bolt, our beets might bolt, our lettuce might bolt, and bolting, for those of you who are new, it's talked about in one of the videos. It means that it will go to seed, go to flower, and it doesn't want to produce any more vegetables. It wants to produce seeds. So we want to look to see where is it, getting close to 85 degrees. And there is a hot zone in Durham in July and August, and that's when average temperatures can get up to 85, which means that you probably experience some 90-degree days, you probably experience some 95-degree days, and from my experience in Durham, probably some humidity as well. And so what you want to be thinking of when you're thinking about what to plant, and you know that you're maybe not getting in the ground now, but you have to wait a little bit, is you want to think about what things are going to mature in the time that you have left in the warmer temperatures. Because basically, if you start to plant sometime in June, your minimum temperatures, your low temperatures are probably in the 60s, and your hotter temperatures are in the 80s. So you want to start planting those hotter weather crops versus the cooler weather crops. So if you're not planting now and you're thinking ahead, you're thinking about warmer weather crops. And so I know these are outside of the scope of the 40 days, but the crops you would want to focus on: beans, tomatoes, eggplant, peppers, cucumbers, summer squash, winter squash, okra, melon, watermelon, onion, cabbage. These are all things that will handle the heat really well.
This is your June planting list, straight from Stacey Murphy. Screenshot this.
And the days to maturity are listed there. So some of them are, you could set yourself a 60-day challenge instead of a 40-day challenge and go for some of those crops that are, 55 days to maturity and see how far you get. So just to go back to some of those cooler weather crops, the cooler weather crops tend to be shorter days to maturity. And they may still be able to handle some of the heat there. So if you have definitely the chard, the kale, the collards, those are all things that are going to withstand the heat of the summer. And then the things that you might need to play with a little bit and maybe put in the shadow of the larger crops are things like your arugula and your turnips and your beets, and put those underneath some of the other crops so that they get a little bit of shade and they stay a little bit cooler, okay? So that's what I would recommend. It's not too late. And then at the end of the growing season, let's say your whole summer, you're going to go on vacation, somebody called you up and they're like, hey, we're going to Spain for summer. And you're like, oh man, I was going to start my garden. So what I would recommend in that case is that in September and October, you have a perfect window for a 40-day challenge, which is basically the temperatures are starting to cool off and all of those cool weather crops are going to grow like gangbusters. And what happens in the fall, just so everybody knows, is the days start to get shorter.
And here is the revelation most gardeners never hear. Even if you miss the entire summer, September and October give you a
shorter. So sometimes what happens in the fall when you're planting things is that the days to maturity, it takes a little bit longer because the number of hours that the sun is out is shorter and the days are getting colder at the same time. It slows down the plant. So if you're growing in the fall and you're getting close to those cold temperatures of, let's say, November in this case, you want to add 1 to 2 weeks, so 7 to 14 days to that number of days to maturity. So if I'm planting radishes on October 1st and they are at 21 days to maturity, my guess is they'll come in either at 28 days or they might even come in more like 35 days because the days keep getting shorter. And especially with a crop like that where you're going to harvest a root vegetable and you want the root vegetable to form, you want to give it plenty of time. If it's something like lettuce, you can always cut it early. So if I were going to plant lettuce on October 1st, And I could cut it at a baby stage at 21 days, but I could also cut it anytime after that. And what I know is that there's at least 28 days in October, so I know it's going to be big enough to cut by the end of October and enjoy as a salad, right? So there's certain crops that are, you want to safely plan ahead so that you don't get cut off by the end of the season. And there's others that you can cut whenever you want to and enjoy them.
Think about where you were at the start of this video, standing in front of an empty garden in June, wondering if you missed your chance. Now, look at what you know. A Brooklyn backyard, completely filled with weeds on June 15th, was producing eggplant, peppers, tomatoes, cabbage, onions, and herbs just 60 days later. You have a summer planting window right now. Beans, tomatoes, cucumbers, squash, okra, all of them loving the heat you are about to get. And even if you miss the summer entirely, September and October give you a second perfect window for cool weather crops. Stacey Murphy has been proving for over 20 years that it is never too late. The only question is, what are you planting first? You are not the gardener who missed the season anymore. You are the one who knows the windows, who plants in June knowing the harvest comes in August, who plans ahead to September knowing the cool crops are coming. If you want to keep learning from Stacey Murphy and some of the world's most trusted food growers, there is a whole community waiting for you at growyourownvegetables.org. This Q&A was recorded at a past Grow Your Own Vegetables event, and what Stacey just shared with you took her years of growing, failing, and figuring out to discover. But here is what most people watching this do not know. Stacey is just one of 15 world-class experts we have sat down with. Soil scientists who have spent decades unlocking what makes food grow stronger. Clinical herbalists who have turned ordinary gardens into medicine cabinets. Master growers who have cracked the code on growing more food in less space with less effort than you ever thought possible. 15 experts, 15 breakthroughs, each one sharing the single lesson that took them a lifetime to learn. And every single session is waiting for you right now, completely free. One registration, instant access, no credit card. Just go to growyourownvegetables.org/summit, and the moment you sign up, all of it is yours.